Well, I mean, it's our number one because it's the thing we think about every single day.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Today we're talking about food waste. It's something that we talk about together all the time, and whenever we get questions about, like what's one thing I can do to change my habits to live more sustainably, or what are your top 3 tips for making changes? Number 1 is always food waste. Start thinking about food waste. Start looking at your food waste. Just bring it to the front of your consciousness. You're getting a phone call. Number 1 tip for recording a new YouTube video: put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Are you coming back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Phones do not disturb, and people don't waste food.
All right, so why food waste?
Globally, we waste 30 to 40% of edible food every year. So that's the equivalent of feeding 3 billion people, and the planet has what, like 7 billion? So like,
No idea.
almost half, somewhere in there. And that amounts to $860 billion US.
I think it's 680.
680. Wow.
I wrote these notes.
My mind read it wrong. It's 680 billion US dollars per year in food waste. So it's no surprise that if food waste were a country, it would be the 3rd largest greenhouse gas emitter. Mind blown.
Your mind is blown. This is why it's our number 1. We think a lot about these little details without necessarily putting the facts and figures to it, but just to give the big perspective and give reasons for it. These are the facts and figures. So what can you do as an individual?
What can you do? You can buy ugly food at the grocery store. If you see something that like other people probably won't buy because it doesn't look nice, buy that. If you see single bananas, buy those because they're probably all going to get thrown away.
So at a retail level, there are very high standards of quality, and that means that the ugly tomatoes with the divots just get tossed aside and become food waste because people, we have appearance standards. So like Jackie said, single bananas, single tomatoes when you're buying tomatoes on the vine, things like that, as well as ugly things that look funny. There's actually a whole a hashtag that you can do, and you take a photo of your food, and I'm pretty sure it's #uglyfood, but I will double check that. And there's competitions for food that kind of looks like other things. Like when you get a carrot that looks like a mandrake, like a Harry Potter mandrake. It's got a little face, you know what I mean?
Interesting.
Yep.
And I know there's Misfit Market. I've seen them before where they I think somehow collect ugly food and sell it online, something like that. I don't know.
Google it. There's options.
Yeah, there's options. So number 2 is learn to store food correctly so it doesn't go bad in your house. If you see up here, we've got some of our produce up there, and then some things in glass containers that will stay airtight and good for a long time.
So not a lot of food has to be refrigerated. We tend to not keep things in the refrigerator, although you do also want a full refrigerator to reduce energy consumption. So potatoes stay in a dark place. We keep ours in the cabinet, potatoes and onions and garlic, things like that. Herbs, we never refrigerate. We always kind of cut off the bottoms and put them in a glass. We don't have any out here now because we use them for breakfast. Those kinds of things. A lot of our food stays out because if we see it, then we will eat it.
Yes, and the average American wastes between 210 and 250 pounds of food every year. So that's just from
an individual. So this is an
person.
individual.
Average one individual American person. Bring your own to-go container when you go out to eat or when you go out for a drink or something like that.
This is ours. It's super small, but it usually does the job. Yeah. And we also tend to, if we do go out to eat, we tend to save enough of our food to put in the to-go containers so that we do have food generally for later that evening, sometimes for the next day. So this is good, whether you're working on food waste or you're dieting or things like that. Having a to-go container is always good. We keep them bumping around the back of the car. We also keep to-go cups in case we decide to get coffee out or any drink out. Or food. It's good to have.
Giving your food scraps a second life. Tell us about what is going on there.
These are banana peels. They've just been sitting in water. They'll sit in water for a couple of days, and then I will water the plants with it. It's just like a fertilizer option. In the freezer, we also have some citrus peels. orange peels. These are going to be used for like household cleansers. Mix them with white vinegar and we'll make cleansers. You can also dry them out, make decorations.
That's all the rage this year. I've seen it all over Instagram.
That's the orange slices. Yeah, we just learned about that. Also drying them out to use them in like baking and things like that. And I heard you can put them in sugar to like preserve your sugar to keep it from clumping. They absorb moisture. You got options. Google it. If you Google like 100 ways to use an orange peel, you will find answers.
Coffee grounds can be used in body scrubs or to grow mushrooms if that's your thing. Vegetable bits can be boiled to make broth. So, using the bits that you chop up and usually throw away, like the ends of
carrots, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And last but not least,
compost.
Composting. Composting is something that we've been really excited about for when we have a space that we can compost, because when you do put your leftover food scraps, food waste into trash bags and it goes to a landfill, it is not breaking down organically the way that it would in nature, in a compost. It's not decomposing naturally, and instead it is just emitting methane gas. And methane gas is 30 times more potent as a greenhouse gas than CO2. So it's just that much more damaging for our environment, for the greenhouse gas effect. So, composting options. Here's our compost. This is excessive. We should have taken it out days ago, but we've been waiting to make this video. So we keep ours in the fridge and we just take it out when we cook and we add our food scraps into it. Prior to our current option, we were bringing it to a food co-op. They collected it there. So one place you can look, health food stores, see if they'll collect your compost. Either they have it or they've got partnerships with people who work with it. Another option, there's an app called Share Waste. We'll link to it, but you can download the app and find either local individuals who are composting for their gardens or local businesses who are composting for one reason or another. I would also recommend either talking to local gardeners, local farmers, people who will take it, or even reaching out to businesses, because like a garden supply store sells compost and it's not cheap, like finished compost. So there are chances that you could find someone locally who will even come and pick your compost up for you. We are fortunate because our downstairs neighbor composts. So we used to have to bring it somewhere. Now we just bring it outside.